I want to welcome everybody into our summit. I was studying for this knowledge for a while. I think it was empty. So I will at this point usher in Bishop Stephen to help us with the word. Praise the Lord. Shall we please be upstanding as we give honor when you and thanking Him that have made it possible for us all to gather here for this great seminar. Father, we thank you. Thank you for what we have done today. I'm saying you waking us up day by day. Thank you for waking us up in the name of Jesus. Thank you for gathering us all in the name of Jesus. Thank you for bringing the chairman, Dr. Fred, from far away United States to be here present. Thank you for gathering all the executives from various parts of this country, from Abuja, from Eke, from various places, even across Lagos, to be gathered for this great occasion. Father, we say, by your spirit, take control, take charge, in the name of Jesus. As many even the guest speaker that will be coming to speaking our footsteps, even the lawyer, in the name of Jesus. Father, we do not today, even moving forward, to ask for your grace, to ask for your mercy. At the end of the day, O Lord, even in this 3 days seminar, let God be given to me. Let our joy be full. In the name of Jesus Christ. Take control, take charge. Have your way. Thank you for answer prayers. Thank you for Jesus' name. It's something we are having to say. I would love to call on someone in the night. The person of Mr. Danley. To help us. Barrister Danley to help us with an opening speech. I want to be led to me and say, "9 over here, and 9 over here." It is a privilege and also opportunity for me to stand here before you in order to, first and foremost, welcome you to this which is the summit 2024 Graduate Taiyaed, looking the past, the present, and also the future. It is not intended to actually help one to intent, but it is our wish that we want to inform you and also information of the activities at the end. From the time it started, the time we are now, and how forward-looking we are, so that together we can learn and also be enriched with the experiences and knowledge of participating in an enterprise like this. No doubt, it is time for us to celebrate. We started when it was so difficult, and we were able to surmount all the difficulties and challenges. And today we are here to look backward, look at the present, and also look how far we are going in our journey. It is our wish and hope that Almighty will guide us and also on the right direction to follow our peace. Let me use this opportunity to welcome you all to this important gathering. And it is also our hope that at the end of the meeting, and the special grace of this Almighty, you are welcome and you are free to make it our promotion to our partners so that together we can move forward. Thank you very much. And the summit isn't the first of its kind.
We started, I think this is the fourth time. We started some 2 years back. The first one was at Barr in the year 2018. Yes. The first one was about 2018 when Isioma was the group chair, the group
second
manager. Yes. When she was the general manager. So then, like the chairman said, probably not for record. In this event was the chief speaker. Then we have the second one some 2 years ago at the Taiyaed of the residence in kids along Calabria Express Road. So we have the second one here, where we have the picture and where we have the fact as the guest speaker. So today we are simply expectant of our guest speaker, who we are expecting to be allowed to fulfill it now. So also we are going to be loaded this year around. We are expecting to have this year.
Isioma Olagunju.
Now we are going to have that. Then we will have barrister Dipo. You will be surprised that every year we tend to be having barrister. Yes. Who are showing up in the organization. You are involved with some people that know how to do them in campaign. You are not abiding organization. You never we always like to know more about your that will guide the organization. Anything that will be contrary to what the government is get ourselves to do. That's why we have been demanding. So, second guest speaker today will be lawyer with the barrister Sotonwa and Dipo. So, this is the second one. Two of them are right here. Trump. We are telling them this year, like the top procedures said, the team for this year's program is building Nigeria, reflecting on examining the present and ambition with brighter future. So, that we all know that it is very, very important. Future is the most important. Yes, we are going to do what we have done in the past. What have we done? How did we do it? Where did we get it wrong? And how can we get it corrected? That is where exactly we are going. How did we do it last year? Some few years back. How did we do it? Did we do it right? If no, where did we get it wrong? And how can it be corrected? So, solution to all these things will be proper. Not the proper solutions, all the listings, and then the falling short of. That is the main for this year's program, this year's summit. So, that is how
Okay, I welcome every one of you. Maybe we don't have savings here, maybe for us. I appreciate your coming. They have transformed this place to a manageable level. Appreciate what you have done. Looking at how you did everything up and the last day. Right to one thing or the other. And you got it right. As far as I can see. Yes, I don't have the strength I used to have in it. When you did the first, the second, and the third. Then this one. Fourth one, you are the one we did in Irish. Because it was supposed to be then we didn't address, we didn't do that. And we were all gathered. We looked in, we seized the opportunity when there's an occasion to express what we have been doing and how we have been doing. Submitting what we have been doing, what the organization have been doing for the past, what's going at the present, and looking at the future. Most of our people here are highly educated. We brought them in for one purpose or the other. Some have been working for more than 40 years. And some up to 30-something years. Some of them went to school under our banner. And we try to make sure they are up to the task. What we do now is to create avenue for somebody to run this or her own department. When it was under our approval. We just started doing that like a franchise school. There is room for water production, which is needed for still like Barr, to be exact. When we started, we are going to get a good lecture on that. Mr. Dipo on my left side here. Who was there around 6 months of our getting started. We started in school, putting people together. One of the buildings we were using was a song, and then they have to put it. So school could not walk. Then we did. We were there for a couple of our 3 quarters. We used the water system. Why you without everything? This is actually okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, we started with school. We were trying to get the answer again. That's why the school was. So after that, okay. So after we left the school, we started doing this thing for more than this place here, under. You remember, we were going to an office, and cable was this thing. We got so many people. Quite some time. You were with us. There was no problem with happened to be the reason why they give us. Most of the time, people don't give us because we don't do this or do that. We are trying to make sure everyone has something they are doing and they contribute to the center. This place is still regarded as the center. Whatever we do in New York, we will report back to this after clarifying with me. I'm still around. Hopefully, I'm for some time. People to be ready for one thing or the other, which one is what we plan. It's looking back, looking at the present, and what do we envision for the future? We put it in so many different ways. That is the idea. They are part of us. We always want to use when we got to the basic, we found out that, when we got Dr. Wabuko, where Katobi is making one piece, found out that yes, maybe in Lagos, but it's not a Lagos man, it's somebody from the East. People all along, we have not been able to put the necessary people in place. But now, as God will do it in 2 years ago, Mr. Newton Tondo, now find somebody the way it's supposed to be done, the way it was made to be. 2 people from the north, we have Mr. Samson, we have Mr. Dan Ali from Zaria. Mr. Samson is from Kaduna, but actually is from Kogi, where he settled in Kaduna, which is allowed. Yes, see, it's an answer may not be that much, may not be a whole lot, but at least this one belongs to be still regarded as a matter something here in Nigeria today. Then, in Uganda, we have Mr. Dipo, and we still have then we have some other staff that are supporting him, making things work. Just to have 6 people. This is in Galaxy, Obioma, right? Obioma, and basically, Lidika. This time with what we are licensed for, because over the years we were not licensed, we were not approved by CDC, but now we are. What we now do is to have 2 from each region of the country. We are from the north, like I've said. We are from the southeast. 2 people, one from south and one from southeast. Mr. Kajitan, sitting on my right side here, is from southeast, from Aba to be exact. As Lanre is putting in close to 40 years, Mr. Kajitan has put in on and off, upward almost at least over 30-something years. We are hoping that the way we are doing things will be improving as we go along, and we can have them to head their department. They go there and do what they needed to do, and then they can contribute to the center. Here for now is used at the center. We've gone around. We've been in Kaduna, we've been in the east. As a matter of fact, before pandemic, we are in the east. Pandemic came and scattered everybody. This place was closed down for how many months, Mr. Lawrence? How many months was this place closed down? Almost a year. We even did it better. A lot of people were closed for a long time. But we did almost a year, we are closed. Then when we reopen, we start readjusting to the new dispensation. So, having welcomed every one of you, we want to have about 5 or 6 people in the office. Presently, we have about 4 to 5. The other people come in and out. Our program is exhaustive. As we are doing here, we are also doing in Akwa Ibom. We are doing in the east, mainly for petroleum services, which Mr. Kajitan headed. He goes around. As we speak here, we've got 2 contracts which we try our best to be nominated. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, we didn't get yet. But it does not negate the fact that we tried our best. We will continue to try. So, these are the organizations have been, and we are still working hard to make sure we do all what is important, what is expected of us. The people are not eliminating us for any reason. We have to. That's one of the reasons why I am still here as executive. And
I have three outlets, output in front of me. In Cairo, as an advisory board chairman. In South Africa, also the same way. But here in West Africa, I have 3 countries under my banner. Ghana, this country, Nigeria, and Liberia. We've done our best for Ghana, but they are still not ready for growth. Ours is to see what is happening through discussion, through interaction. We let people tell us what to do, what they need to do, and we approve the one we can handle. We start from one place and move up. That's the way we have been running things, and we want things to continue to be that way. The only place we have centered our purpose right now is Akwa Ibom. And talking of Akwa Ibom, Eket is the beginning. We started animal feed sales, which we eventually turned to cement will be in. We are making arrangements to purchase the plate we use. So they'll be contributing about 33.1% into our total need. We cannot continue to go to Igbo people to give us everything all the time. We need them, they need us, but it's a gradual thing. What they wanted from us, we are not there. We are still far from it. But we will continue to do our best to make sure we are close, getting everything closer to what is needed. Having said that, we will turn our page to Kaduna. Part of the research they have done is to ensure that Kaduna will be ready for palm oil distribution. We're not going to make palm oil down in Kaduna. It's not possible because of logistic reasons. It can only be done in Akwa Ibom or eastern part of Nigeria. Some, a little bit in the west, where we have program for the west when the time comes. So we have been in cement for the past 3-4 years. We got this, we laid out, which we didn't do. So we will be. We spend a lot of money, over 10 million something into cement distribution. We got everything ready. Unfortunately, because of, like I said, logistics reasons, we could not move further. As we speak, we have a place in Ibadan ready because the way we thought the program will be, it did not come out to be like that. Everything has been made to be easy. That is, you buy in Ibadan, you can get it anywhere in the country. But nevertheless, we fell short of what was needed to make sure this works appropriately. We spent a lot of money into getting this ready. But based on our plan and what is allowed for us to do, we will continue to do it gradually as we move on. The ICS that is coming is one of the one we told the government what we wanted to do. With the presence of 3 lawyers that went with me to get things done, I can assure you, ICS will be something we will really love to be in because they'll be going around the country. And at the same time, other areas, Kaduna, Eket, transposing to other areas in that region will be what we plan to do. Very important. That's what I can do. In as much as I'm not giving a very terrible something, I'm welcoming every one of you. We have a program lined up. It will take time to get everything done. Nigeria is not a place you think it's not like Ghana. They are very few in Ghana, 20-something million. You can't compare, they're not even up to Lagos. After Lagos, after Nigeria, you talk of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is just half of Nigeria. A lot of things needed to be in shape. Some of you don't follow the geographical way how things are, population-wise. Things, whatever is happening here, happening there. I just happen to have been fortunate to know what is happening in some region in Africa. And by virtue of my education, things are working, maybe not the way it is totally expected, but we are trying. We will continue to try. We will be into some few areas in the next few years. We want to see what we can do in the East. We have done the one of South-South. We want to do the one of East-Central, Barr, and the rest of that area to make sure it is ready. We are looking into so many things which requires financial undertaking. We will do our best to get it done. After Kaduna, we go into Ibadan. As a matter of fact, Ibadan and Kaduna will be developed, or we'll find out from them what those people in charge, what they needed to do. And they've told us, and we are happy that some of them have been accepted for development. It's not going to be easy. Our program also are emulated from what used to happen with UAC. I've told Mr. Yuti about how UAC came to be. Cadbury, they are all part of our program. But they are doing it. Mr. Biggs came along, all this. This time, it's not like that. We will listen to what these people have to tell us for the progress of what Nigeria is doing, and to see how we can align our operations to see that things are done department by department, one growth at a time. It's not going to be easy. It's very, very unfortunate, but the way we are looking at Nigeria, things are getting better, at least a little bit. If 10 is the maximum, we are close to 4. Now, we're not halfway yet, because we can see some bumps on the road. But hopefully, things will get better as we go along. The reason why we're on YouTube, let me emphasize on that, is because, see, we went to a wrong NTA. NTA have different channels everywhere. But when they told me channel 10, Tejocho, I was thinking it's the same central, not knowing that they have moved to Abuja. And the information I gathered was not properly fed with what is to be known in order to direct further. If they didn't tell us how things are, it will backfire on the road. We didn't lose anything, only things did not really over well for us, the kind of money we have expended. Not only the money we pay to NTA, getting them ready every week for one episode or the other is part of the reason why we are hiring people. The technology guy, the AI guy, the guy to be in charge of our ICS, all that will be done next tomorrow. We are looking forward to a proper way to handle things. I will continue to be there. It's not time for me to come home yet. I have a lot of things that I'm enjoying at my old age. But it still doesn't matter. What you do to your country is what God says is yours, not what you do in a woman's life. They look for good people, and they work with the good people, you work with their technology, and you get a good result. Everything works out very well as far as that place is concerned. It's a well-planned city, and it's done by people from around the world. Who are the Americans? We are the Americans. If you settle there, you stay there for 6 months, on a proper paper, you are an American. America, you come today, you do all what is expected of you, you can be American. You can't do that in other countries. British will not make you a Briton until after some time. Yes, you can be. All they can do is just to allow us an immigrant that can go in and out. I have a stepdaughter there who is working in the technology area. But her car is still there. And we are hoping that since we start getting better, Nigerians don't need to travel to anywhere. We will be here and enjoy ourselves and do what is right. Right now, like I said, we have 15 people scattered all over the country. At summit time, all of them will be around. They are here. If I start from Mr. Danlami, who came in later, because of advanced qualification and all that, he edged out Mr. Larry Jimo. Larry Jimo started about 40 years ago, followed by Mr. Kakita. But I'm only mentioning their name, I'm not introducing them. This is how they have started. We look at what they have to do. Tomorrow is the time we will look at what everybody, today is just preambling, just making sure we talk about what is to happen. And we will allow them to speak for themselves. They will tell us the school they have went. They will do this, they do that, and then bring them into the forefront of everything we do. Apart from Mr. Danlami, who is working hard to take over in case anything happens. I'm not looking forward to be here forever. I will still go one day. But the important thing is to pray to God to extend the time God has for us. To appreciate what they are doing and see the 4 people, the board members. 2019, we went to the government because of what they told us to be a non-profit. And they told us anything we have to do, we must register. If we have to do business, it has to come under a registered company, paying taxes and all that. Vatican pay taxes. Pentecostal pay taxes. They may not pay tax as a church. They have to pay taxes based on income they generate on the side. Everybody does that. Church of England, everywhere, it's like that. They have the area that makes money for them. That money-making area, they have to pay the taxes as expected. That's a little bit of what I want to say about that. Going further, Mr. Samson is on my right side. He's also a board member. For his generosity, for his steadfast arrangement, he made sure we got the lawyer that got us this, that did the non-profit certification. They did it. There are a lot of things to be done. Advertise in 2 Nigerian papers. Go here, go there, make sure things works out fine. As an organization, it does not mean we didn't lose money along the line. There's no way you can do business in Nigeria, you won't lose money. There are some people who got to give them the opportunity not to lose anything on their way up. But we have tried everything we needed to do. After Mr. Danlami, Mr. Larry, and Mr. Samson, they are all board members. That's why they're on the high table. They do one thing or the other for the organization. If I'm not here, Mr. Danlami will pick up the gathering and try to let people know why. Before, we used to have up to 30 people for conferences here, in this place here. I can show you the picture on my phone. We've had them. 4 or 5 will come from the east. We get from Lagos. We get from Akure. We have been all over the place. It's not that we didn't have sense of direction. But sometimes there are always bumps on the road because of the people we are dealing with. So, apart from these four people you are seeing on the high table, we have Mr. Kajita on our right side, who happens to be one of the oldest. And he has contributed a lot, especially with our new dispensation. What our people wanted, he's handling it. And very soon, his office will be somewhere in Aba or Port Harcourt, or they are very close. It's 45 minutes drive. At this moment, Mr. Yutin is coming up. Mr. Yutin is somebody we met over 20 years ago. Let me put it 22 years. When I checked the record, it was 22 years ago. And we met him. And when he came, I said he's kind of interested in being with us. He wants to go to school, and I told him at what age, how many children? 4 children. I convinced him to be with us. After examining his certification into all areas, and for you to be our key member, for you to be certified as somebody ready, who have the readiness to do what we wanted, we have to look at a certificate and talk to you the way you handle things. We will examine. We will be able to know if you are actually ready for us. So Mr. Eugene cross all those hurdles. And now is a departmental head working on animal feeds and some sales project in Akwa Ibom area, Eket to be exact. We are just talking of property to be bought. We are doing our own thing silently. As we sit down here, 85% of what we are using is borne by him, by his department. For it to be collected immediately at the back. By then, everything we have expended will be given back to me. The money will be sent to him. That's what we want. If it is Kaduna to do the spearheading the expenses, we will let him do everything. We make sure we return the money in good time for everybody to be happy. We have never failed anybody getting their salary, and we always update ourselves to what this salary is as at this point in time. It doesn't mean we give them millions. No. The people are well paid as far as we are concerned. Those who are part-time are working and they are getting little tokens from here to here. The organization is trying. How many people can you find that Oyibo people are still happy? It's because of my association with them. They are the one that influenced our having enough profit. And like I said, people like Mr. Toby, like Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Victor Bamoju, and host of others. Michael is for Ibadan. I'm not putting them according to seniority. I'm only mentioning them for today's program. Tomorrow is when we introduce them and they have to say something. They have to tell us the school they went, how they interact, they got to know about us, how things are, and what their intentions are. So, while we are waiting for the lecture and for the book, because it happens that the person responsible, the vehicle we give for that, they're almost here. They told us they're almost here. You know it in Lagos. Things are not as you expect them to be. So, phone. Somebody. You see my phone? So, tomorrow we will do things in order. There are people who have been talking for upward 10 years. Mr. Lawrence is here. So, that Taiyaed cubicle. Mr. Bamo is going to 3 or 4. No, about 3 after over 3 years. Yes, after the pandemic, there was need for rearrangement. We did. We brought in new people. Mr. Philip, they wind up to be very good to us, but our program is done outside, and here is the center where what we do here is to get what other people do for us and move on with it. I will continue to guide them to make sure everybody does what is right. I have Michael for Ibadan. I've said it earlier. He is to be responsible for our 5 cement locations we are going to have in Lagos, Ogun State 2. Those are the ones we have put forward, and we are expecting the money to be through by the time I get here. But the first thing first, we must compensate Akwa Ibom access for whatever the area may have expended on our program. Yeah. So, the way we have planned it is for a department to handle all the expenses so that we don't have to pay this, pay that. We have begged him. I've used my veto power to ensure that Ms. Utin stand to the test. He has done it very well. He was responsible for this and that. Yes, everything don't have to come through Michael. Michael is in Ibadan. We wasted some. I won't call it waste. It's just what it is when you are trying to put your foot on the ground as a mark. You will go through some hardship and some problems. But now we are getting things done. We want to make sure when we pay this kind of money for 900 bags of cement or 600 or 300, all those ones can be gotten at the nearest depot. And that is the way we are planning. For some of you who are responsible for Dangote's, we did this several times. Larry was here, Mr. Philip, Mr. Bamo, we went to Ibadan 2 or 3 times. Same thing with others. Yes, we learn our lesson. We learn in a hard way. It is not easy. If anybody tell you it's easy in Nigeria, the person is just lying to you. We are doing it. Any money that's needed, we have to know what the money is for. And we give them the financial undertaking, the financial something that is needed. We will soon be in Lagos with 5 different areas. I know of Akoka. I know of Obalende. I know of the closest one to me is Obalende. No, I don't know it offered. I don't want to say what is not right. The 5 areas have been approved. Now we are waiting for the funding so that Michael, Larry can be ready. Kaduna is ready. Kaduna is for one thing, then they progress into others. We are making arrangements to make sure our 5 pillars in the organization are met. ICS is number 1. The trading activities. And also, we also have elder care program, which our guest speaker is going to speak about. The main speaker is going to talk about the generality of the country. That is what we did 4 years ago, the last time we had this summit. We have to talk about the global view of Nigeria. Then we have a barrister who will talk about the family elder care program. Then tomorrow, that will be for today, including this mind. Welcoming everybody, telling you what the organization does, how we have lost money over the years, We have our contract servicing going on. It took us almost 2 years to make claim of contract servicing with NNPC. We are here now. We've got 2 contracts. We couldn't do it because the first one was to be, the item they were looking for was to be gotten in Lithuania. Am I correct? Yes, Lithuania. That's where they discovered the items to be. After going up and down, we put up our bidding. It didn't work out. Mr. Yutin from Akwa Ibom area, Eke Tugeza, Mr. Kapitan, who is in charge, were the one that were doing it. NNPC required 2 people. We are there. They know us now. They have visited them. We have got the first contract, second contract. Second contract was talking of red dye. And what's the second one? That is 450. We look everywhere around the world, we can't find. This is the problem with NNPC. Something they will ask you if they themselves cannot find it. They throw it out. That we have made them to realize that we are interested, but you cannot keep giving us something we cannot find around the world. When I was doing it, my wife was assisting me. We went around. I travel a lot. I can't do that no more. I don't have that capability. The health does not give me the opportunity. He participated in some, Mr. Samson. Contract, yes. But in as much as I'm not quite elaborating on what happened, it doesn't mean we didn't do it. We made some money in some cases. That's why we have them. They are all for a purpose. I didn't just bring them here for showcase. The people want to see them. There are some people giving us money. They want to be lifting on. But they know they don't want to, and that they have to use somebody and happen to do it. I am an eternal person. Like, they don't allow me to do anything from America again. They used to. But I gathered everybody. There will be a time I will send Mr. Victor to Dozendorf. I will send him to conclude all the activities needed, only to pick it up. That's why it took us a year and a half to be in NNPC. We are now there. They have ID card. They are our members, but the way it is set up now, Tinubu government, is to make sure you introduce 2 people. If I need anything there, despite the fact that I'm their chairman, I cannot do anything. They have to do it. They have to empower them. I have to send them. That is the only difference that we have. And the last bid we sent in was $268 million. Million naira. 268 million. You get that contract, it will last you for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You will still be waxing stronger because you've already done the job. The people down there who were affiliated with Overseas Investments Corporation, I should have started with that. It doesn't matter. The important, most of you will know ourselves. They give us everything we needed, and we are still working towards that. Even if Michael, for any reason, travel, it doesn't mean it will end here. We will continue to do it. All I need to do is to introduce it so I can come back home and stay a little bit more before God says it's time to go. I haven't said that. It is not easy. I'm not sitting down here to tell you everything's on a platter of gold. We've tried this one, we've tried this, we've tried that. Most of the time, people just look for a way to take the opportunity. We found somebody here that went against it. But that's not, I said, let's give him a chance, maybe he will change. He never changed. After all, we wound up losing almost 9 million. And they will take everything away overnight. They will not know. Anyway, I don't want to sit down here and be talking of our woes. We pass through what everybody has passed through. It's even worse. when it comes to me when I was there, when I was dictating for them. But now it's a little bit different. We've understood what is needed. We have made sure that things are working ahead. Yes, Mr. Fatai. Yeah. No, you used to be the head of road safety somewhere in the district. Okay, you can have a seat somewhere. Those one of our guest speakers, they are still on the way. And you can just sit anywhere where almost all the other people are outside doing one thing or the other. Mr. Akintunde, he call himself Fatai. The one I know you is Fatai. I'm your brother. We are from the same family. So, he's third or fourth in command in road safety. High post here too, you know. So when you see it dressing, you just pack out those things here and here. But he's still a brother to me. No matter what position you say you are, if you like the IG, I've had somebody who was second to the IG. We still call him brother. We don't call him that he's an IG or the man is, I don't know. Did I tell you about the IG? Oh my goodness. He lives in that's where he came from. He lives in Abuja, 15-story building. He lives on the 14th story something there. They are our brother. They directed us. They put us to do what is right. Yes. And he used to be the head of road safety. That was when he was planning to be in the police. And I said, no, you've gone far. You're about to retire. You didn't start yesterday. It's still about 4-5. How many years you have left? 4 years, it will be like me and you. But me and you retire at the Central Bank, right? We have 4 years. You will not be road safety again. You come back all the style you have, you want. Back in there, you are still my brother. Anyway, we have them around. My other brother lost his wife. Yes, one in the Air Force, who eventually became a captain with a aero contractor. Yes, I lost too many people this time. It's never been like that. Yes, during the last 1.5 years or 2 years that I've been into Nigeria, I've lost 3 prominent people in the family. Yes, all for cancer. When I came now, I told my wife, I said, I hope you people didn't have all this in your family. For my brother who used to be top of everything in Port Harcourt, now became almost president. When you have to bury somebody in America, I said, fine land against 17,000. Yeah, you will bury somebody. Anyway, I don't want to talk more about it because we are on camera. Let's leave that one to another time when we are not. We're on YouTube. Mr. Do I call you Mr.? Okay, let me call you for the purpose of the meeting. That's all right. No, we don't want to do that. No, we have to call. If I can call Michael, my own son, if I can call him Mr., I have to call you Mr. for the respect of this occasion. We planned very well to continue on what I'm saying as my address for the opening of the. We planned very well. We shift our program from one area to the other, and more people take advantage of us. I'm not going to lie to you. It's my upbringing. I was telling some people who brought us. I was trying to show them my school. Yes, I was telling them to show this is my high school. I went those days.
Thank you, everybody. I greet you once again. We are almost through with our lunch, and then we should kickstart the second session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues. I am Oluwatosin Maliki, your host for today. Welcome to Taiyaed Summit 2024. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to stand before us today as we gather under the theme Rebuilding Nigeria, Reflecting on the Past, Examining the Present, and Envisioning a Brighter Future. The discussions for today are very crucial because it's about our society and how we want our future to be like. The discussions and ideas that will emerge from this summit are crucial as we work towards a better Nigeria, to shape a better Nigeria. That being said, I would like to reintroduce our esteemed I would like to introduce esteemed individuals in our midst. We have chairman session for improvement of the young adult and elderly Taiyaed. We are also honored to have the vice chairman, Mr. Dan Lamid Musa. Please, a round of applause for him. His dedication and commitment are invaluable to our mission. The chairman, Mr. Mubarak Ali, has done a lot for this organization. Mr. Lanre Jimo, thank you very much, sir, for everything you've been doing for the organization. We thank you all for gracing this occasion. Also, we are privileged to have with us an amazing individual who will enrich our discussion today, Dr. Isioma Olagunju. You are very welcome, ma'am. On that note, I would like to hand over the mic to our vice chairman for him to reintroduce our guest speaker or keynote speaker to coordinate the event. Thank you very much.
Moderating chairman for the event. And I hope everybody will listen clearly and also very interestingly and also understand what the professor is saying so that at the end of the day we shall be better off for it. May Allah guide us. So I hand over back to the
Thank you very much. I would like to say that this summit is an opportunity for us to come together, share insights, and collaborate on strategies that would work in bettering our nation as a country. That being said, I would like to invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Olagunju, to please give us our keynote address. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I thought I was actually going to be speaking to young adults. I didn't know I was going to be speaking to my fathers. So I want to say that I'm really delighted, I'm excited, and I'm happy to be in your midst today. I also tap into the anointing of ease, of longevity, because being in the midst of the older generations and every one of you are looking really, really young, you know. So I think you should clap for yourselves. Whilst we were driving down here, Ms. Tosin told me that the visionaire, I want to believe, the founder, I'm a very pragmatic and a down-to-earth woman, so I think you permit me if I call you Baba. Well, she told me, I was curious. I wanted to know a lot about Taiyaed, and she was giving me a lowdown. Well, there was something she said. She told me, she said, if you see him, you will think he's in his 50s. And sincerely, I think she wasn't making it up, you know. And that tells me that you are an intentional person, you know. Being of age, at this age, and still looking this vibrant, and coming up with something like this. I understand too that Taiyaed is about 30 years old or more than that. And you know, I also saw the way Baba Alaji came to, you know, he reminded me of my father. You know, I am a Nigerian, my name is Isioma, but I'm a true Nigerian because I'm married to a Yoruba man, you know. And I was born and raised here. Whilst we were traveling down here, I was excited. It brought back memories. I was born and raised in Surulere. Yes, I was born and raised in Surulere, precisely Shodikwe Close. And my late father of blessed memory could speak the 3 languages comfortably. he was born in Latvia, and he was all the while raised in Kano, and of course he's an Igbo man from Delta State, and I and my other siblings, when we speak Yoruba here, you will think that so it's not a surprise I eventually got married to a Yoruba man, a prince from Taiyaed. So you see, I thought when I got here, I just told myself that I needed to be pragmatic. I needed to be for real. Yeah, it's not a day for big grammar. Yeah, it's a day for me to interact with my fathers, and I thought actually I was, because I work with young adults a lot, teaching in the university. I've taught in all the levels. I've taught in kindergarten. I've taught primary. And I'm in the university. So the only school that I've not been is that of the older generations. And so today I have come to learn. Thank you, sirs. You see, I have titled this talk Envisioning a Greater Future for the Nigerian youth through entrepreneurship, education, and skill acquisition. And I don't know, can I come out? Yes. Please open my slide for me. No, don't worry. And something occurred to me when I was thinking about it. I looked at this NGO. Many a times they talk about the girl child, they talk about the climate, they talk about several other contemporary issues. But most times they don't dedicate the real attention to the older generation. They don't even talk about the young adults. They don't talk about the young adults. And there's something interesting here. While I was coming, I have a PA. He always likes to follow his mommy about. My son is here, a law graduate here. And my mentee, a mechanical engineer. And they said, Mommy will follow you. And I said, fantastic, let's go together. The truth about it is that these young men are our future. I wish we had the slides so that I could show you some of the people I tried to look into what made them and where they are coming from, where they are and where they are going to. When I look at the faces of all my fathers here, I discovered that there's something about you. There's something fantastic and awesome about you. You have this look of fulfillment. Am I right, sir? Exactly. You can only give what you have. You have this look of fulfillment because as young adults, right from childhood, you had a vision. You could conceive something, you could think about something, and that is why today you can proudly say that I lead a good life. I'm living a good life. My children are doing well, and I am fulfilled, and now I want to give back to the society. And that should be ultimately the goal of everyone. Like I would say in a jocularly note, I want to be like you when I grow up, Baba. Comfortable, yes. The truth, what does it mean to envision? What does it mean to envision? Sorry, I'm a teacher, like I said. And so I'm going to ask all of us to sit back. Can we do that? At least I'm your teacher for today, even if you are my fathers. So let's sit back. Baba, you are not sitting back. Is it because of the fan? So let's sit back, okay? Let's chest out and possibly sit up too. You need exercises. Sit up, yes. And now let's close our eyes. And once our eyes are closed, let's think back 5, 10, 15 years. Have we done that? I don't want to disturb. Have we done that? Now let's think again. 5, 10, 6 months, a year from now, 5, 10, 15 years. Shall we come back from a small journey, and now let's open our eyes. Now it's your time to talk, sir. What did you see back? What did you see moving forward? I'm just going to, for this purpose, like I said, I'm your teacher. Exactly. So I can pick and call anybody. I will start from the chairman.
Thank you. Okay.
Five years back.
Yes, 5 years back, things were not rosy. A lot of difficulties in Nigeria. We observe it. I've been in America for quite a long time. But 5 years back, knowing about Nigeria, since I come here often and often, we can see that the way things are now, it can make somebody to feel comfortable that things will get better. For the past several years back, 5 years, like you said, as a lecturer, I was once a lecturer too. I was teaching in college. I was teaching statistics. When I got my PhD in econometrics, that's the area I was teaching. But to go back to your question, 5 years back, things weren't rosy. Things weren't good. A lot of people were not feeling too happy. But we started enjoying Nigeria as the biggest. We might not be in size. We are not as big as Congo in terms of this. But we don't normally regard them. The top, the 5 years, Nigerians are highly educated. Highly. Harvard, #1 school in the world, graduated 98 doctors this 3-4 months ago. 48 of them are Nigerians. It is fantastic. Nigerians go far in education, and that is a fact. I don't want to take your time trying to answer one thing or the other, because this is what I do. I don't do it again. I'm an advisor now at top level. So, going back 5 years, a lot of things were not in shape. But gradually, a lot of people want things to just go, who will get to the top. You don't go that way. You got to take one step. You are not born today and start walking. You got to crawl. You got to do this, to do that before you start getting to the start. You got to pass through so many rough roads. So, going back 5 years, Nigerians were just seeing to their way of doing things, but it's getting better. It's getting better. We can see. You can see. It will be better. We are going through hardship, which is true. All the people that surround Trump, 2 of them are Nigerian. Though they may not be Nigerian of our own, they are Americans, so they only have Nigerian names, because they are parents, they are here. Even Hillary Clinton or anybody you can think of. We have Nigerians all over the place, because at one time everybody was running helter-skelter to this place to that place. But telling you the truth, Nigerians of 5 years ago has been a lot of improvement, if that is the answer you are looking for. But nevertheless, I will still be willing to answer more questions. But I think, looking back 5 years to this day and moving forward, there's a lot of differences you can see. And then we are hoping for the best. It will be okay with everybody's contribution. One person does not do it alone. Collective bargaining, like they say. So I thank you for your question.
There is no right answer, sir. Please clap for him. Thank you very much, sir. You know, my experiences working with your generation is that there is no right answer because you have seen it all. You have seen it all. And what you have shared, sir, is the benefit of your experience. You know, I like to refer to this. If there are some things that you know by intuition, a youngster who hasn't had the experiences that you have had will not have it. That's the truth. So there's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. Please clap for him. You know, we have to engage in that short exercise for us to know that to envision actually means that you need to imagine. You know, the moment you closed your eyes, the moment I asked you to think back in time, and I now asked you to think forward, you know, you were actually imagining. And that is why your answer is in tandem with what I'm expecting too. You are an optimist, it's obvious. It's obvious from the response that you see things from the bright side of life. And that is the way we should view things. You know, talking about the young adults now, you will discover that a lot of things have gone awry. It wasn't what it was before. You know, there's unemployment, there's poverty, there's an increase in the divorce rate. When you ask some young men, they will tell you they are not even interested in getting married anytime soon. It wasn't so. We had our parents getting married at 28, 29. I mean the male. The female got married a lot younger. But that's not the case now. You have the Japa syndrome. It's rife, you know, because of unemployment, because of poverty. You know, people, young adults do not even have access to quality education. I didn't attend a private school. I was only opportune to attend a private school because my father saw some prospects in me as his fourth daughter. And I attended a nursery school. But I recall that I had to be taken away from the nursery school because at that time, getting into secondary school will be a big problem if I finish in the private school. I hope you remember, sir. Public schools were the in thing. You couldn't. Exactly. I'm speaking to my father, so you can relate. Exactly. So, but now everyone is jostling for private schools. The public schools are like for the poor, and it wasn't so. Even in a place like Germany, probably what happened whilst I was growing up, I attended Anglican Girls Primary School. I was showing my son. I said, "See Ibidun Street. You know, see Akiyomi, and you know, but we never had any complex growing up. But what is the scenario today? It is not the same. You have to spend millions to send your children to school. It's not the same. But comparatively, as an educator, I've taught all my life. I know that in a place like Germany, education is still free. If you want to go to, if you want your child to attend a private school, then it's because your child is not raised to be competitive enough. But that's not the case today. So sometimes I feel for the young adults. I feel for them. There's high rise in crime. It wasn't so. You could open your doors. I remember those days. Everyone was everyone's keeper. You knew the next neighbor. You know, we were like a family. There was no religious dichotomy. That's why I'm excited that you are doing something like this. I'm happy to have you, sir. Thank you, sir. I mean, Baba, Dan Lami. Yes. You know, growing up, you know, it wasn't, there wasn't any case of this is Hausa, this is Igbo, this is Yoruba, this is Akwa Ibom. We all knew that we were all just one Nigeria. But now I'm not too sure I'll be comfortable. I remember those days, the road system was very okay. I could travel. The narrative is changing anyway. It is changing gradually. But I remember that when we were growing up, I could travel conveniently on the train to Kano and we'll stop at Mokwa. You know, I don't know whether the rail tracks. But now I'm not too sure I would allow my son to go to. I'll be scared. I'm being honest. But there wasn't any scare growing up. Now there's the abuse of drugs. You find young men, maybe you think they are drinking Coke, but it's something else. There's substance abuse. You know, a lot of banditry, kidnapping. I read some time ago of a young chap who came to his uncle's house and he connived with somebody to kidnap the uncle's daughter. How sad. What has happened? What has happened? So the kind of Nigeria I envision, the kind of Nigeria I conceive, the kind of Nigeria I imagine is a Nigeria that the youth want to be heard. The youth want to belong. It's not the Nigeria in which your mother will say or your father will say, oh, yeah. Now the narrative is changing. Before, it's the children that come back home after they have studied abroad. Now, it is the parents that are there. So a lot is happening. Yes. My husband's eldest sister, all her children are in the UK, and I was jocularly telling her, I said, "Mommy, big mommy, the way it's going, I'm sure, and she's an elderly too. I'm sure in a couple of years' time, you will say bye-bye to Nigeria because the children are not coming back to Nigeria. And so who will take care of their mother? So I think something drastic needs to be done. So it is a keynote address, so I'm not going to bore you. How many minutes have I used? You know? So I told her, I said, I wonder. I don't think, because by the time she is not able to take care of herself, she has to go to where her children are. And that's depopulating Nigeria. I think the statisticians, the people that are in charge of population, the census people, we need to do another census to be sure whether we are not being depopulated. That's the truth, sir. You know, sometimes in Nigeria, we live under the illusion until the truth stares us in our face. Because after the EndSARS saga, a lot of our young generation, who constitute 64% of our population, are outside the shores of Nigeria. I am excited that Nigerians, wherever we find ourselves, we are doing wonderfully well. You know, we would have been a victim of that. I like to tell my experiences. We were visiting scholars. My husband, he happens to be a professor of law. And we were visiting scholars at an institute in Germany. And then it wasn't even this good. I like to use good. I don't like to use bad negative words. It wasn't this bad at that time, but people felt that since all of us had joined in, that we weren't coming back. And my husband said, no, we have to come back. And here we are. The truth about it is that we came back to something. I'm sure that perhaps we can tell the story now. Perhaps if he didn't have a paid employment when we went for that fellowship program at a prominent, it's called the Max Planck Institute in Germany, Heidelberg, Germany. If he probably didn't have a job, an employment, and possibly because of his level of contentment too, we probably would have also jackpotted him. And your guess is as good as mine. I'm not sure probably the home front would have been what it is today. So a lot of things, there are a lot of contemporary issues begging for answers. So what are the pragmatic things we need to do? We need to encourage entrepreneurship education. There is no two ways to it. I was fascinated when I saw that a young chap, his name is Aboyeji Inyoluwa. He was CEO of Flutterwave, and he owns a young chap in his 30s, I guess. He's an entrepreneur. Thank you, sir. You know, there are lots of them doing fantastic things. I'm not going to mention one Sapphire Akim Bello Osage's daughter, because of course, if she doesn't do something like that, who else will do? But I know that there are young men and women, and that is why I'm excited that you could think of this, because these young adults are our future. I remember again that so many years back, I asked my father-in-law, I said, Baba, why is it that of all your siblings, he happened to be the Aremoba, his father was a king, and I asked him, I said, you are the only one amongst all your siblings that has only one wife. And he said, well, for personal reasons, because I embraced the Catholic faith and I decided that I wasn't going to go that way. But I also discovered that the politics and the intrigues I had to go through whilst my father was the Oba wasn't something I wanted my children to go through. Why am I discussing this? He was in his own personal life, he was intentional about what he wanted. Whatever we want to do, we have to be intentional about it. We have to be deliberate about it. I don't believe in accidental success. Success has to have a roadmap. Success has to have that this is where I want it, and if I work towards it, it's going to be possible. But here we find out that sometimes, that's why I keep saying that I'm excited. I didn't know that we still have Nigerians like this. Sincerely, in a while, I've not been in this company. So I'm excited. Please clap for me. You know, it's true. We grew up appreciating one another. There wasn't any religious dichotomy or, I remember Alaja, she was living opposite us. The husband was Justice Adejongo. Anytime it was Salah time, we always knew that we were going to enjoy. Yes, and there wasn't any, don't eat it all. It's no. And when it was Christmas too, it was also our turn to send food to them. But guess what? Where we live now, at Lagos State, on Christmas Day, who would you give now? And that is why I was telling myself, I said, when I got here, I was reflecting. I said, if Baba can do something like this, I said, I am not discouraged. Every December, I have a book club that I encourage children to read, because I notice that the reading culture is, yes. So, and outside of our campus gates, you have the lowly there. And so each time we hold the program, they are excited. They are happy. They are happy that, oh, so a professor and the wife can host us and give us food. We can have access to them, ask them questions, and they can also give back to us. I think that is a trust of what we should do as Nigerians. You know? And this is why I'll keep saying, I can't overemphasize it, that this is the right step in the right direction. And so, youth need to be trained in skills. Skills. For example, whilst he was an undergraduate in the university, he noticed that his father loved cooking. And, you know, and he took up, he is a certified chef. Yeah, I encouraged him to. He even he registered his outfit, dainties of dandies. And that's the way it should be. Our education should be for the head, the heart, and the hands. It should not just be limited to office work. I am a pragmatist. I can't overemphasize it. If your education does not serve you, if your education cannot feed you, then by all means, you are in the wrong place. You are not doing enough for your life. And so that is why I keep saying that there are so many skills that children should be exposed to, particularly our young adults. I was reading through, I said I'm interested. What is the day of application? You give people, what happens? I said I was going to ask. I saw that day 3, we are going to job interview. Oh.
Try entry for about a year to really see that okay. We have some people who kind of experience the program in this area. She was one of them. So, what we are going to do now is a new dimension. Going all over the country. They have their own group. They do not use this place, they use another office. So, the studio with everything. We teach people what they need to know. How to get to the next step to become this and to become that. So, we give the idea to people the dream, not outside culture. People mostly America than they do all. They don't even have culture.
Exactly, sir.
Culture, everything things at home. So our people are station already. So we are trying to employ people that show them more direction. I don't want everybody to do that that's a good thing after they are post qualification. Like the one we are looking for, like for somebody 10 years and above, when we took out the program, we all know about it, we try to go, but we have some change along the line. This time, we are looking at the tell us what they will do once we back them up. Some of us that have the foresight, and friends in great. How we just need to do the right thing coming from the right place. Well, before gifting, the demands of people who don't know what they are doing. Example, just man no man, not putting there, you don't want to have. Let the old thing come from the top. Let's see how Nigerians are progressing and get on this. At the end of the day, let's see what we have done. That is some people that are coming in around. And we come to Global, we come to Ghana. Some of them are infected now. Because you see now that they can now pronounce things. And people will say this guy in Aaron, what I know, this service, who is viral, highly educated. His father gave him that education. It's not the old people that we use to feed them. You go to the top of what? Or you go to the top of an action, they have another table. No, we are all very ready for the country. And we have to show you the direction. It's no money. Money don't happen to do it. But do it right, money will come later. And this place is very program. So ICS is what ICS stands for, Integrated Communication Services. So that's the most.
Thank you so much for the education. You see, I said I knew it was going to be a learning session for me. You know, when I saw it, I was curious. I was like, oh, you know, are you interviewing a new whatever? Well, I see that these are some of your strategies for reaching out. That's what I'll call it, your strategies for reaching out. And it's fantastic. Well done, sir. Well done. So the youth need to be taught or to be meaningfully engaged. You know, they need to be meaningfully engaged because I do not see a Nigeria. I do not wish for a Nigeria in which now we have young adults in quantum, and after some time you find out that we are just a country with only old people. And what would be the consequences of such? The labor force will suffer. The labor force will suffer. Technology, there won't even be access to innovate or bring about new ideas. And that will spell doom for us as a country. So we need to be decisive. We need to have strategies in which we need to employ to ensure that these things are altered and in time too. Because like I said, after the NSAS saga, nobody has come forward to take down the record. People keep saying that we are many. We are many. Yes, we are. But there's going to be a telling effect. We may not know it now, but there's going to be a telling effect. I shared an experience now. A lot of our youths are not here at all. A lot of them are not here. A lot of them are not here. And if it continues like that, yes, we are scattered around the world doing great things, doing fantastic things, yes. And you are right, sir. Even the other time too, when I think it is Yale University, you know, they were having their master's graduation. Quite a number of them were Nigerians too. My son-in-law was there. Quite a number of them. So we are doing fantastically well. But we should have an enabling environment so that we can thrive. We should have an enabling environment so that we can thrive. You know, skills acquisition is something that we need to acquire skills. It's as simple as that. No big grammar. It's as simple as that. Skills are, what are the skills we are acquiring? You know, and for example, I love writing. So in my faculty, anytime they need to write certificates, they say, where is Dr. Olagunju? You know, and you find me doing calligraphy for them. You know, it's still something that I'm still... Exactly, sir. Exactly, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And there's so many skills around cookery, you know. We need to be like the Americans. Am I right, sir? I've only traveled to America. I know that they yeah, it's obvious, sir. Mm-hmm. You know, I know that the Americans are very pragmatic. But I think why we are always having this issue is because our colonial masters, the Europeans, handed to us, I wouldn't want to say something that was not for real. Something that was not for real. Like I said, education should cater for the cognitive, the psychomotor, and also cater for the psychomotor, the emotional too, which is the affective. It is very important. When that is done, when we are able to integrate all that, the former VC of university where I worked used to say something. The disconnect about our educational system. A professor of engineering cannot, his car has fault and he cannot address the fault in the car. Then there's something wrong. Our education should cater for things that are for real. And that is why, what are those skills? They are everyday skills around us. Today, people say they are inviting us for a laughter session, and one table is 1 million. VVIP is 2 million. Sometimes when you listen to the joke, you will know that it really took real intelligence for them to come up with it. These are skills. These are skills we need, but the environment doesn't have to be toxic. It has to be friendly. In early childhood education, which is my discipline, we talk about a child-friendly environment. The Nigerian ecosystem has to be citizen-friendly for our youth to thrive. It has to be citizen-friendly. We need to take one bold step at a time. It is not, we do not need to do things that are obsolete, but we can as a people. For example, I know that right now as a country, we need to have our own identity. We can borrow things from people, but we need to stand and say, and which is why I'm excited that up till now, Nigerians are not, never signed. Remember that the Senate president then, Senator David Mark, he stood on his ground and he said, we were not going to allow this LGBT to scale through. And these are our unique features. They are fantastic people. They come here, they tell us that polygamy is bad. Meanwhile, it is okay for a man to marry a man. It is okay for a woman to marry a woman, and you tell me that polygamy is bad. I mean, what are we talking about? And so we need, where am I going to? I'm integrating culture. We need to stand as a people and look at our strong areas. Those strong areas are what will help us to come up with our own citizen-friendly initiative that will move us forward and make the environment, the Nigerian society as a whole, conducive. Because if it is conducive, sir, our children will not japa. They won't, sir. They won't. That's the truth. They won't. They won't. Because there is nowhere like home. It's lonely out there. I remember when I was leaving my brother's house a couple of years ago, whenever I go there, and as he was driving me to, his wife said, we'll be lonely again. You know? Because everyone, I'm sure that when it is winter, you can't even look out. You can't even look out. It's everywhere is white. It's white Christmas. Everywhere is white. But look at us here. We have a beautiful. So I know that if the environment is not toxic, if the environment is made conducive, encourage. That's why things like what you are doing, sir, I wish each one do one. There will be a multiplier effect. I'm sure that you must have done a drug advocacy against drug abuse for youth. I'm sure you must have done something like that. And a lot of things. When all these issues are addressed and suitable replacements are given to the youth, they would sit and Nigeria will go. I want to thank you for listening. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Can we give a round of applause to the professor? Please, are you still, or is it because of the food you are eating? I think you should be more energy in this. Let me hear you very well. We really want to appreciate the prof for a very well delivered lecture. But instead of a structured lecture, she went into practical examples for us to appreciate the topic of today. I want to thank you very much for that effort. Although I'm supposed to moderate you, and not you, but to moderate what you say, but the fact that it's not structured, well, I will try the best I can, but it's not easy. So I thank you very much, and I want you to give me a listening ear for the few things I will say in summary by the grace of God. I very appreciated you and thank you very much for a well presented lecture. We also want to look at it from a different perspective based on what you have said, for a better understanding of this particular subject. You started by appreciating us, and you also go ahead to also appreciate the entire program itself, which is very encouraging, and also it makes us feel happier that at least we're in our little way touching the lives of every other individual that comes our way. I want to thank you very much for that notification. Secondly, you also look at the environment and also the cultural base of Nigeria and Nigerians. And you also look at some of the issues that had been going on in the past and is currently going on. And that prepare us to also think what is likely to be tomorrow. And in that light, you are able to also emphasize on the need for education. And not only ordinary education, but functional education. Education that you can put in place and everybody will see. And you have the real ability to actually show to people that you learn. You did not even stop there. You went ahead to give an example of a personal relation which you had. When you saw the potentiality in him in doing a particular program and which was going to be beneficial, you encouraged him and you made him to actually go and pursue that direction of education. And today he is a success, the black man. And you gave emphasis as to the need for us to look backward and to see what was wrong with us. What do we allow it to be wrong, and how can we now correct ourselves so that we can be on the right path to success? That one too is very important. You have given several examples by your experience and by your knowledge of other areas that are different from Nigeria. And also, I must have to thank you very much for bringing one of the weaknesses that are currently the order of the day. A young one presuming to take coke but taking illicit substance. That has so much damage in our society today. That's what makes these incidences of banditry, these incidences of conflicts around. And in addition to it, this introduction of artificial intelligence and the provision of the new development in technology, where we allow our children to be consumed by this what do you call this apart from YouTube, Google, this element of googling, our children are no longer listening to me or any other person. They are the master of either Google or artificial intelligence. That too also has attributed to the kind of behaviors and the confusion we have both in Nigeria and virtually in the world today. The children are no longer concerned about the value you have to put on to them. Once they Google and they got what they want, they can ask questions, they can know all manner of things. The same thing goes with the artificial intelligence. In as much as they are developing in mankind, but they are also destructive in some respect. So there is the need for parents to actually be mindful of how much our children are consuming the computer and how much are they actually fearing. Because that one too is another way of mending and is another way of destroying. May we be well guided. And at the end, Prof, you have spoken so much and you have touched every facet of life. And you would emphasize with the young adults and also the young individuals, which has been your area of education. If I understand exactly what you are saying, is that we should be able to borrow from what you have said in terms of experiences and the direction that we are focusing towards. That we should include some of this image or we can include as a curriculum, or we can make it as a part of the elements of the curriculum that we should carry along so that it will be better in serving humanity and in serving the overall. I want to thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Olagunju, for that insightful and interactive session. I know that we have all taken one or two leaves from what you said. I also want to thank Barrister Dr. Dalami for his contribution on this matter. Barrister Dalami for his contribution on this matter. You said a lot of things that spoke or resonated with me. Now you spoke about creating an enabling environment for the young adults. And I quickly want to speak on that. Now, growing up, I was taught that, education is the key to success. But now when we look at it, it's almost like talent and skill is the key to success. Now, let me give an example. There is this young lady that is trending online. I'm sure some of the young folks, we know her. Her name is Vicky James. She is a fashion designer and she has elite high-end clients. She sold bespoke, materials and wares for celebrities, people in the entertainment space, and she has built a brand for herself from scratch. Now, using her as a case study, growing up, she didn't go to school. In fact, according to her story when she was interviewed by BBC, she said she picked up sewing from her mom. She always went for holidays to her mom's shop, and she picked up sewing, and she got that interest for sewing, and she decided to pursue it. Her mother encouraged her to go to school, but because of the passion and love she has for that skill, she said no. She wants to put everything on hold and focus on sewing, and she was able to rise up just with that skill. Without any formal education whatsoever, she was able to build a brand for herself just by using social media. Now, a lot of young folks use social media as a means of generating income. You can see a social media influencer, making millions of naira just by, being monetized on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. They are earning dollars. Now, the question I would like to ask you is, how do we create that enabling environment for young adults, for them to thrive? You mentioned entrepreneurship. I remember back then in school, we had a course in the university called Entrepreneurship Studies. We were encouraged to, learn about, to pick up different skills, sewing, catering, and the rest. And some of us, picked that up and were able to run with it, while some, focused on education and all. But when we look at Nigeria as a whole, we see that the economic realities is posing a hindrance to people's success. Now, success is as a result of consistent preparation, and silent prayer for dedication. Let me put it that way. Now, when we see a lot of young folks, we all understand that, we all know we are facing this because we all experience this. When you said we should look back and think about 5 years ago. Now, I believe that we look back and think about 5 years ago, we can all attest to the fact that an egg was sold for probably 50 or 30 naira. Okay, you see? So an egg was sold for that amount at that time. Looking now, an egg is sold for.
I see a question somehow. However, being the moderator, I want to use my fear that after your question, we are allowed to.
So just to round up my question. When we look at some of the things we were buying at that time, were quite manageable, seemed to be okay. But when we look at some of the things we buy now, a liter of oil is going for about 1,000 plus. Back then, it was going for around 300, naira. When we look at the inflation rate, dollar to naira is, is almost astronomical. People cannot live on the minimum wage that they get on a daily basis. So my question is, how do we create an enabling environment for young adults where they can strive, to give them hope that there is something for them to benefit in Nigeria, for them to have that hope that, I can make it even if I'm in Nigeria. I don't need to travel, for me to make it out there. Thank you very much.
Okay, first I'm going to be truthful. I don't have the answer. That's the truth. I don't have the answer. Because God is the only one that knows tomorrow. But I know that I know God. So you need an element of faith in a lot of things. But having said that, the truth about it is that looking at and what you said, I am not immune to it. I'm not immune to it. 5 years back, we were still complaining as Nigerians. It's terrible, oh, it's terrible, oh, it's terrible. And now we have seen the real terrible now. And we are now not talking. So I think it is the way we are wired as Nigerians. We complain a lot. And, when you lose gratitude, you have lost it all. That being said, but for you, as you, I share your sentiments. I feel for you. Because even in class, there was a time I also felt frustrated. Even as someone in my 50s, I was frustrated too. I was employed, but my wage was not even meeting my needs. So I understand. But guess what? So I told them there was this time, I think it was last year, the fuel scarcity something really just came in as a shock for everyone. So suddenly, now it's like, Nigerians, we are very, very tough. It's really tough for everybody, but we always manage. But first, because it wasn't what we expected, we thought that the president now was going to fix it. But fixing anything takes time. Anyway, do you know that I asked, I'm going to answer this question this way. I now told someone, I said, how is it over there? Do you think one should relocate? You understand? At my age, should I be thinking that? I don't. Do you understand? If I hadn't done that while I was much younger. So I said it. But do you know how the answer came? My daughter told me, she said, Mommy, your temperament, you can't survive there. And I asked her, I said, what do you mean by my temperament? She said, Mommy, you can't correct a child there. You see, the thing is that there is I want to share this out. If we need to, my fathers that are here, if you take a corn or you want to plant anything and you put it in the soil, it gets rotten, then it brings out life, isn't it? You can try if you want to try. That's the truth. But you need to sit down and ask yourself questions. Who am I? What works for me? Where do I go from here? What can I do for myself? What are my talents? What skills do I need to acquire to better my lot? Then you are on the way to success. Do you remember the shooting in Texas where the security man was standing and a young child, a toddler, sprayed as it ever happened in Nigeria? They have their own problems too. I'm not saying it's rosy in Nigeria. It can never be. It was not designed Exactly. We can wire our mindset, and so we can thrive. For example, success is by continuous, consistent attention to what works for you. I've seen doctors who jackpot and now they are lamenting. They had 1, 2, 3 because NEPA is never regular. They decided, and there's this follow syndrome about Nigeria. So they had to leave. And when they got there, they didn't discover that they were better off in Nigeria. So I don't know. That's a food for thought.
to emphasize on the issue of creating a cooling environment. I want to share an experience. Maybe that will give a lead to that issue. Center for Girls Education, based in Kaduna, is for Nigeria. Part of what they do to create an enabling environment for girls, like those who are dropouts or those who stop at a level they cannot continue. What they do is to bring them into their program. Then they will now give them the necessary training. Then they will also pay for their examination fees, whether it is NECO or WAEC, and also including even JAM. And they make sure that they give them the guidance and tailoring to ensure that they have passed their exams, and then they also lead into getting admission into university or higher institution for them. I think that's by all means what Prof said by creating the enabling environment. And we have the same thing in Taiyaed. When we get you involved, we get to either we understand what is your focus and your direction, and we understand what we do offer some sort of scholarship or some financial support. That in itself also is creating the enabling environment. Thank you very much. Like I've said, 2 more questions, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Isioma Olagunju. Thank you very much for that answer. From all you said, I think what I can gather is, as Nigerians, as young adults, we need to look inward, look at, discover yourself, discover who you are, discover your talents, and use that to build, your career. Use that, and also you made a point that is very, very valid. Nigerians are very industrious individuals, I must say, and from what you said we should always have a fighting spirit. We should never give up. There are so many Nigerians who have, been able to make it out, even from the slums. So if they can do it, we too can do it. Thank you very much. I want to thank Barrister Dalami for his contributions. On that note, at this juncture, on that note, I would like to invite Barrister Dipo Sotonwa, who will be speaking to us on organic care. Okay. Before that, someone wants to make a contribution.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. I think we are in the afternoon already. This is 2:30. I want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Olagunju for her submission and the insightful comments she has made so far. I must say this, that you provided us some basis for discussion. When you said we should think back some 5 years ago, all right, and then envision another 5 years. Yes, let me start from there. 5 years ago, the situation in Nigeria is very tense. Let me say that nobody in the last 5 years ever imagined that things can be this terrible. We were saying things were hard, but we are actually experiencing hardship now. Okay, and we need it. In the past, we were living on what somebody called a borrowed life. We were not actually living exactly what it is. Why? Because we were not producing anything. We were sort of only consuming. Okay? And the Tinubu government is now bringing us to the reality at hand. We are being stacked, we are being faced with the stacked reality of exactly what is happening. All right? In the past, the former government were printing more money, and that is why it seems things were a bit easier. But this government said, no, I'm not going to central bank to print money. Let us face this challenge and begin to solve our problems. Part of what I really appreciate in what you said is developing skills. My children have finished in school. All right. If we had waited and relied on their certificate when they are coming out, they'll be at home now and will still keep giving the burden of having to look for somewhere to fix them and all that. But I'm going to tell you, I have that relief now. While they are going to school, they were engaged in skills that could sustain them. You get my point. My last daughter is a graduate now, but she doesn't bother looking for work because she has a skill. She learned fashion designing and all that stuff. She got her equipment and all that. Even her mom still pays for people to come and do her nails and this for as much as 5,000 now. She said it's too small for her. Are you getting me? She said she does not even the money. I will pay that person to come and do it for you because I have better engagement. What am I saying? If she has not learned that skill, all right, I will not have the peace that I have today. I would say, my daughter has finished her social. Of course, we are still looking for a better option. Are you getting my point? My son actually equally went into this IT stuff. I was struggling trying to get a placement for him in my office. The guy said, no, I don't have that time. Are you getting my point? The confidence is there. And both of them are doing very well. Courtesy of what? Skill acquisition they've had in the past. Now, coming back, I think we've talked about the present situations. Sorry, come on. We are talking about the present situation where we have things very tough now and all that stuff. And I'm bold to tell you, government is actually paying keen attention to this. All right? And I don't want to bore us with so many things. I will quickly just point out my observation this afternoon. Unlike before, when government will tell you we are going to do this, you will only hear the talk. They don't walk the talk. But the narrative is changing. Okay? If you look outside there now, you will see NEPA equipment, all right, materials down there. Because we had a major blowout on this street that has been affecting our life system. Okay? In infrastructural development, government is trying to create an enabling environment for us. If we have steady and strong power supply, the welder will eat, the hairdresser will have enough light to work, will eat. We'll stop having to go and buy that exorbitant fuel every time and then. They are bringing new materials and stronger than what we used to have before. Before, you would only say, I never imagined such facility will be coming to a remote place like this. You get my point? I have learned that this government is changing from all the obsolete equipment that has to do with electricity to new ones that will serve us for the next 50 years. It's there. What about the road infrastructures? It's fantastic. Everywhere you are having new roads coming up, you are having consolidation of the old ones and all that. I think we have good. Okay? We only need to look inward. All right? Identify the skill, like what you try to be a challenge. Identify the skill you have with, you understand, and then be very good at it. If you have a service that can solve a problem, you'll be much sought after. Ensure you are good at what you have passion for, and a service that other people cannot easily, obtain. You provide such service, you don't have to even advertise yourself. You see people coming to look for you. I think at this stage, let me just avail us.
Thank you very much, sir, for that, for your contribution. Thank you very, very much for your contribution. In a nutshell, you made a lot of valid points. You said, first of all, what I could pick from what you said, your first statement, you said productivity of entrepreneurs, are tied to constant power supply. We have small SMEs, that small scale businesses. These people, depend on availability of light. Without light, they cannot function. Now, imagine an hairdresser, a tailor, a welder, etc. People like this, these people depend on light to be productive. Without that, and let's not forget, Nigeria is 60-something years old, and we are, in quotes, the giant of Africa, but we have nothing to prove. Like for that, we are still yet to get our bearing, and hopefully, Tinubu, our president, would make a headway for us in that area. Now, you also said we are major consumers of goods rather than producers, which should be a turning point, which should be something that should serve as a point of note that we need to change. See China, for example, those people are major producers of their products. You see phones, you see gadgets, you see electricity. And you also said something, so that I will round up. You said we should find a problem and be problem solvers. You can only make headway, you can only be successful when you see a problem, you go out there, you create a service for that problem where people can, rush in. When you have a problem, for example, and you have services put in place, you see people rushing for you, you'll be oversubscribed. So I think that should be what Nigeria as a country should work towards. That should be our major goal. Constant power supply. And I feel like the government, I know that they can do this. Hopefully, they will be able to, work towards this, and we will all be alive, sir. We will all be alive to see that Nigeria enjoys constant power supply in Jesus' name. That being said, I would like to invite Barrister Dipo Sotonwa, who will be speaking on family matters. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. I will stand up talking to you because that's my normal routine which we do to address you. The topic I'm going to pick up is honoring our elders through healthcare system. First of all, I'd like us to look at it. As a Nigerian or as an African, you have this thing, you say, we respect our elders. You say, in the Bible, it says, honor your father and your mother that their days may be long. Given the traditional something, you honor your parents. That is it. Who is an elder? That's the first question. As of today, I think elders are from 60 years. 60 years. So that is. But I would like us to look back and cast our memory back. The elders have also prepared themselves. I'll give you instances before you can say you honor them. If you look at the past setting up, the elder will build a house. In that house he has built, there are rooms for the children, grandchildren surrounded by grandchildren. Even, for example, I myself, as a grandchild to my grandparents, we always love to go and meet them. We will enjoy it with the grandparents. So when these people get old, you're always there for them also. That is one thing. You will always be there for them also. Then, on top of their own immediate charge, or children. I want to go and see my papa. I want to go and see my mama. I want to see my father. They will there. Festive periods, they are always there with them to celebrate with the children and everybody being rosy. That was them. Things were good. Nobody, I will tell, let us be frank, nobody will want to leave his elder parents at all people's home. It's a taboo. In the Nigerian set of that, I want to take my mother or father to all people's home. We are already caused. Let us be frank, we are already caused. It's not part of our own culture. So we put them, we take care of them, they are with us, and they are always with us. Even if you look at it in the traditional setting of one thing that is common, you now see in Africans, you see, I try to correct that idea. They say, you see women or somebody, they say, I don't want to live in my in-laws' house. You look at it, they say, I don't want to die in my in-laws' house. That is, it's common among the Yorubas. They say, it's something bad, I don't want to die in my in-laws' house. I don't want to do this thing. I look at it. It's not that dying in an in-laws' house, it's not that what matters. The thing is that it's just the self-respect. That's what I look at for my own. I don't want to research into it. And I discovered that it's just like the self-respect that they want to put themselves into a position which they are free. That is it. You will have seen that all these elderly people, they have really prepared for themselves before they have taken care of themselves. Then they don't depend on pension or anything. They are self-sufficient with what they have. So that was why they were able to live long. A situation which we also have to look at is that they will never become a burden to our children. They will never. Because as I said, if you don't have, let us be candid with ourselves. The children of these days, they are another thing entirely. Let me tell you, it's only if you have, they love you. If you don't prepare for yourself, you have to prepare for your old age also. It is then they will honor you too. But most of them, it's only very few. It's not their fault also at the same time, it's the economic situation. If you see a situation where somebody also at the same time depends on the parents, you have educated him, you have done everything, he does not have a job, you are the one even feeding him again. That's the reality you have to look at. These are the things you have to see too. Then how do we go about this thing to resolve this issue? I think, number one, we have to go back to our traditional setting up. The traditional setting up which I meant is that in those days, you don't have burglary proofs at homes. There are no wire guns and all these things. You are free. In the compound, you move about freely and everything. So these people, they interact with themselves, they meet themselves and all these things. If you look at somebody who's a real traditionalist Africans, he will not want to go to abroad. You know why? All these people, if you interview them, those who go, there are some people, if you take them, within a week, they want to come back here. They say they are not free. But here, these people live very long because they can talk to this person. Baba Lagbaja, Iya Lagbaja, Mama something. That one gives them long life. It gives them long life. That is one thing. But if you see them, if you not say, let me take you abroad, very few, some of them, they don't want to go. They prefer to be here. These are things we should look at. The government should really help us out. That's one of those things. Government should really help out to cater for the old people, to provide the basic necessities. What are the basic necessities? It is healthcare system. No matter how you go to the hospital now, the elderly, they pay. There's nothing free. We have to be candid with ourselves. Hospital, you have to pay for cards. Drugs, you have to pay for it. The state government may be telling you free medical services. There is nothing free. You pay for it. So we have to have a sort of insurance policy taking care of these elderly people. These are things we have to look into. Then another thing is that the elderly person also, before you become elderly, you should take care of yourself. You should prepare. You should prepare also for your old age, so that you do not become a burden on anybody. So whatever your children give you is your surplus. Those are the things I should look at. You have to see to it. That is. I think
It's short. Something.
Thank you, Barrister Dipo. Some of the areas we are looking into, as I've explained to the CAC people, from 2019, some of the areas just mentioned, I got listed. We are looking for a new phase, how elderly people will be treated, how they will be handled. We have an insurance, universal insurance. I can beat my chest. They've listened to me, and I told them we can bring this thing to Nigeria. It will be like insurance. A lot of things we are doing on the ground, we can't form and not be in society without affecting the area you have done the studies. Universal insurance, but if anybody knows for them, Manuel. Very, very nice guy. He's been my mentor. And I've promised because I worked with him when he was nobody. He's from the top, top Nigerian Yoruba people. Okay? And one of the things he told me he will be able to do is to use Hawk Robinson, which is another insurance company, but they have settled in Britain. They will use them in Nigeria, you may not know, under a different name. So what Bode Manuel told me was that, Mr. Ali, you have all these ideas. Some of these things will not work in Nigeria. I said, we have to make it work. The only thing is, let's look at what will benefit our people. Before, I used to tell my people what to do. I let them tell me what they want to do. I will advise them. Because that is the way the people I'm affiliated with, the Overseas Investments Corporation, this is what they wanted. So what am I saying? I'm saying that's your idea, the one I captured towards the end. It's a good idea. It's a very good idea to get the old people to do something and to back them up insurance-wise, so that health, once you have health, you have everything. Every other thing comes in place. It's not going to be easy. I will talk to him how he will represent me with them to what I explain more into what to expect, because Nigeria don't have it at this point in time. But we will do our best, even if it has to start from Lagos, and then other will be capturing it. I only told him for insurance, and I told Toby and maybe two other guys how they will have to go to Victoria Island and meet Bode Emmanuel to tell him, me and Harry, we have seen it before. Very nice guy. So all these aspects you are saying, I'm not beating my chest to tell you it will be easy. The elderly people will have a role to play in society. Once they know they are prevented from falling down and just die without something covering them. It's not as easy as we are saying it. A lot of countries to be crossed. I can assure you, I may not even be alive. I'm not a young man again. When this thing comes to fruition, the point is that we are setting up the idea. It's part of our program. Elder care program, when you look at the major things here, it is centered on health. Letting be sure that we have something for the elderly people. We don't have it at this point in Nigeria, but we are working towards it. It will happen. Only it will take time. When we go to the House of Assembly and talk to them, it was when we are just like when we are trying to get to be certificated on our non-profit. After going through all the rigmarole of this publishing into Sahara or whatever they call it, I don't know. They were asking me, how do I want to do this Oyibo thing in Nigeria? Do I think it will work? I said, we have to make it work. He said, namely, we have to ensure it works. And you, at the CAC, you have to support us They gave me the name. This Taiyaed you are seeing. We didn't give it ourselves. Government gave it to us, federal government of Nigeria. After publishing, after doing this, doing that, we all said you don't just get to have a non-profit just like that. It's a lot of steps, a lot of things you have to cross. So I'm only addressing that area at this point in time. And something is part of what we put forward. And Bob Robinson have agreed to universal insurance that they will allow us to try it not everywhere in Nigeria, state by state or local government, until we get to study and see how people accept it, and then we start moving forward from one place to the other to this. Some areas very close to Lagos might still accept. It's not going to be the same thing for the other area. They will tell you they have not eaten. Why are we talking of health insurance? That's what they will be saying. I've been around, I may not know about the whole lot about Nigeria now, but it's been a while and so. But I can guarantee you we are working on it. So at least to keep our people fed, which is very important. Thank you very much, Mr. Sotonwa.
Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. To further support what the chairman has said, the issue of engaging and collaborating with the insurance company is very possible. Possible in the sense that in Kaduna State today, where I reside, and in my ward, there is a kind of NGO that is giving support in the light of what my chairman is saying, and we call that NGO Impact. The Impact has made a situation where in every ward of Kaduna State, which represent 255 wards, in every ward there are a number of old people, aged people that are registered, both men and women, and who are also being certificated by way of making identity card in the name of the insurance. Every month, 5,000 is designated for their medical attention, and they are being looked after free of charge. And this is an ongoing program. And there is also the Clinton Foundation. Clinton Foundation too is doing the same assistance in supporting more and more community members within the wards. So I think what my chairman is saying is possible. It depends on the goodwill we have and how we are going to fashion the collaboration between we and the other insurance company. And I think the door is open for anybody who has interest and who also think that there are other openings we can engage into. Thank you very much.
Let me stand this way. I want to first of all thank everyone for finding time to participate in our summit. It has been very interesting. Not minding, some of us have had the notice very short, like you, madam. You got short notice and then you were able to attend with us. I want to thank everyone for finding time, encouraging us to persevere, encouraging us to continue to give our best, to work harder than before, and to target results. Because if you work over and over, you are expected to get results. So if the results are not forthcoming, you'll be discouraged. So I want to say thank you, Chairman. Thank you, everyone on the high table. Our friends, our colleagues, you've done very well. This is day one. And by tomorrow, this summit will continue in-house more this time. And I want us to please endeavor to keep the time. So because when we start early, we could end early. And I am full of delight that today has been a success. You are the one that made it successful. If you weren't here, we won't get this far. So on that note, I want to wish every one of us journey mercies to your destinations. And I ask that God will continue to grace you, give you a very happy ending 2024. That is to say that your Christmas and all your holidays will be full of fanfare, full of hope for a better Nigeria, because we want Nigeria to be a better place. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And before you leave, sir, please endeavor to stand by for photograph, order of photos. You need to take photograph with us, because you won't just speak and go. We need to put it somewhere on the wall as a form of remembrance. Thank you very much.